My wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
It turns out that Attila, the arrogant so-and-so, he's got a fake hammer.
Oh, a fake?
Yeah.
Whoa. As I say, dick.
Welcome to the Your Allegiance podcast, episode number 58. And start this week by saying a big thanks to our friend Guion for filling in last week. But this week we have the band back together. Mal has survived his trip across the Atlantic, and you're back in the hot seat. Mal, how are you feeling?
I am. I'm all right. Little weary is probably the best way to describe it. Just I don't know whether it's jet lag or just recovering from multiple days of
the time difference is the killer, isn't it?
Fun. Yeah.
Although this was a good time of the year to go with the 1 hour less time difference for this few days.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks, isn't it?
I'm not very good at sleeping on the plane either, though. So it's sort of the travel day was a very long day.
I got you. Yeah. That's tough. And Rich is back from the dead.
I am. I think still rising from the dead, maybe, but I am back. Yeah.
You have decided to spread it around your family and let it go that way.
Yeah, so I was off work ill for 3 days last week. My daughter caught it off me, was off school for 2 days. And then my wife caught it off me and was been off work for the first 3 days of this week. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I am the plague spreader. And I've been in work, not today, but the previous 2 days, just coughed my head off all day. So I could feel the glares coming from everybody.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't have been able to do that 2 years ago. You would have just had to get a doctor's cert and stay at home. So
one person did say, "Why are you in the office?" And I was like, "Because of our company's attendance policy. You need to be in 3 days a week. That's why I'm
here." Talk to the manager, exactly. And that's the other thing about work from home now. You see, is it really is it hard? It's difficult to be sick if you're working from home, isn't it? You have to kind of really plead your case.
Oh yeah,
well,
yeah.
I mean, I think that changes if they're going to make you be in the 3 days and make us be in more often. Is if you're off sick, just take the time off sick. They can't have everything. They can't have it always.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, there is a temptation to struggle through, isn't there? If you're at home anyway, sort of thing. But yeah. Also, it's common sense. Though. It's about not going in and spreading it around the team.
Yeah.
If my team now catch what I've got, then I'm going to have the whole team off for a few days, and then stuff's going to fall behind, and it's just like,
Yeah, it's a vicious circle, isn't it? Very good. Well, Mal, when you were in the States, we're going to talk on next week's episode, I think, a bit more about your trip and how it went, and give you time to digest it and reflect on it, and come back with your thoughts a little bit more together. But while you were there, you grabbed a little interview with the one and only Jeremy Girard, I believe.
I did. During the con, he had a free moment, and I'd previously hit him up and said, "Jeremy, do you mind if we have a bit of a chat?" And he very kindly made some time for me.
Excellent. So that's what we're gonna play that now. So you get all the scoop from Jeremy, and talk about what went on at Muskecon in relation to the Four Horsemen. They had a little bit of news to drop, and also a little bit of chat about the rest of the year. And it sounds like a very exciting and expensive year. So let's hand it over to Mal and Jeremy from last week.
Hello, this is Malcolm Kennedy from the Your Allegiance podcast. I don't know why I'm saying this. I'm sure John will cut it down. I am here with the man himself, Mr. Jeremy Girard, the marketing director of Four Horsemen Studios.
Yeah.
He's very kindly taking some time out to have a quick chat with me about what has been going on here at Muskecon. So, Jeremy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. This is my first time here at Muskecon. This is my first time in Michigan. I've wanted I've wanted an excuse to come to Michigan to hang out with these guys for a couple years, and it's just never worked out. So when this opportunity came up to be a part of this show, to come down, with the studio and with Travis, and rep this and be a part here. Plus, we had the Mythic meetup last night. It was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up, and I've had a great weekend.
Yes, I've got to say the meetup last night was really good, really fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. In a lot of ways, it reminded me, kind of the first Legions Con. The first Legions Con was a little bit more people, and we had exhibitors and stuff like that, but it had a very similar vibe. Yeah. Like, it was just people hanging out, having fun. The first Legions Con didn't have pretzels. And there was a lot of pretzels last night. It's interesting that they had like 3 different dishes, and it was round pretzels, pretzel rods, and actual pretzels.
And did you have a favorite of the 3 pretzels?
I went with the little pretzel balls.
I thought they were the best.
Yes,
well.
I feel like of those 3, the pretzel balls were the winner.
And they also had a couple of different cheese dips as well, didn't they?
I did do some nacho cheese. I did some nacho cheese. But no, it's, in all seriousness, the vibe was very positive. Those guys, they gave away a ton of fun prizes. People from the community all donated lots of different prizes. Wolf King Customs sponsored it, so I can't say enough about it. It was such a great evening.
It really was. It really was a very good evening. And how's today been going for you?
Today's been great as well. This is not a huge show, obviously, if you compare it to some of the, we did MegaCon earlier this year, which is 100,000 people, and that's incredibly cool. But a giant show like that also has certain drawbacks as well. You can only spend so much quality time with people. A smaller show like this, you don't get as many, people through the doors, as many people in front of the booth. But the people that do come, you get to spend some quality time with them. On a personal level, this has been nice for me because it's a show that I'm not running. Yeah. So, obviously it's not like Legions Con where I'm running the show along with Joe Viteri. But even at the table, because this is a street team show, so we're partnered with Travis here. He's handling so much of the stuff at the table. It really allows me to mingle, to do stuff like this, to come out, and have this conversation with you. So I've enjoyed being able to do that in this type of a setting.
That's very cool, very cool. And it's awesome that you've come along. As I just not long said to you when I heard it was you coming along, just as much it would have been cool CB being here, and Jim's here as well.
Here as well.
We talked a fair bit before, and so it's nice to see you and nice to have you here as well. So let's get on to the news that was revealed last night in the meetup. You very kindly gave Pete McCarthy, the organizer of Muskecon, a little tasty tidbit to reveal.
He reached out and he had said, for the meetup, do you have anything that we can reveal, like, so people can say, as first seen at Muskecon? And as a showrunner, I totally get that desire. So unfortunately, we're at the point where we don't really have a figure type of thing that I could bring or tease or something like that. But there was a project that we'd been working on in secret that we hadn't really mentioned at all that I thought would be a lot of fun. So what I did was I stood in front of the audience and I said, I know a lot of people are interested in an update on the Mythic Legions book. And, if you follow the community, you know that I've been working on a storybook called Rise of the Dark 4, Volume 1, which is an actual art book with a full narrative story. It's a full novel of the Mythic Legions story, or the first part of it. So when I said an update on the book, everyone expected that's what I was talking about, and I quickly pivoted and said, I'm actually talking about an update about a book that you don't even know anything about yet. And what we revealed was a book that we're calling Mythic Legions: The First 10 Years. And the easiest way to describe this is it is a visual catalog of the figures and items released under that Mythic Legions banner for this first 10 years. So, we showed some pages. Every figure will have a page that will show a couple of the photos. Trevor Williams doing all the photography, of course. It'll show a couple of the photos, like a front shot, an an alternate headshot, a shot from the back, and the accessories. It'll have some information about the character's bio, and then some interesting tidbits. Because there's a lot of times there's some interesting behind-the-scenes stuff about these particular toys or the characters that we'll be able to share in this. So just that, it's going to have 200 and something figures, like a visual catalog, and it's organized sequentially by wave. So obviously the first wave will be Mythic Legions 1. The last wave it covers, well, we'll get there.
We'll see when it comes out.
You'll see. I know what the last wave is going to cover, but we'll say that you don't know what the last wave it's going to cover is yet. But between it's literally my job. Between that, there's also going to be information about each wave and other aspects of this line that I think would be interesting in the book. So we showed some pages from Mythic Legions 1 last night, and at the start of that, it talked about that first Kickstarter, and it showed like some actual photos of when Mythic Legions first debuted at Toypocalypse in 2014. It showed the front page of the Mythic Legions 1 Kickstarter. It showed the update where Cornboy wrote, "They're here," once they had arrived at the warehouse. All fun stuff like that. There's also going to be a little few pages about test shots, and it'll come right after the Mythic Legions 1 chapter, because the first actual Mythic Legions product that was in fans' hands weren't the Wave 1 figures, weren't the actual production figures from the Kickstarter awards. They were some test shots that were released a few months before everything else. So we'll acknowledge that, and we'll show some photos of test shots. So I think that when you get this, beyond it being a visual dictionary of the entire wave to a certain point, those first 10 years, you're also going to get a lot of other information just about the waves, about the community, about this like Legions phenomena that we've built over these 10 years, that if you are a lover of what we're doing, having this large hardcover coffee table book of this, I think is just going to be something that fans are going to love. And based on the reaction it got last night, I think we're onto something.
Well, I can tell you I'm very excited by the idea. I mean, I love... Well, people like Lego do it, don't they? They do all the different minifigures they've released, and it's that kind of thing. And I think, it's always awesome to sit and flick through, and as you've said, touched on there, the community side of it as well. That'd be awesome.
Well, the nice thing too with a book is, so our goal is to be able to solicit it this year. And the nice thing with a book is we are going to do it through pre-order, because we have no sense of how many to print, and we don't want to print a whole bunch of books if there's not a market for it, if people aren't going to buy it. So it'll be done through a pre-order, through Store Horseman and so forth. The nice thing is, once that pre-order is done, unlike the lengthy process of actually doing toys, we're going to be able to get that done a lot quicker. Like, I will say that, I know I've seen some books that are done through like Kickstarters and everything where the books aren't ready when the Kickstarter happens, because they need the Kickstarter funds to make sure it's viable to do the book. When we solicit it, the book will be ready to go to print. So we will be doing the pre-order only to get the number that we need to print. So once that pre-order is done, we're literally going to send the numbers to the printer, and it's going to go to print. So my hope is, and we've never printed one of these before, so we'll learn what we need to learn, along the way, but my expectation is that once the pre-order is done, we should be able to have it in fans' hands within a couple months.
Oh, awesome. That would be brilliant.
I'd love to have it out. I'd love to solicit it this year and have it out this year, because I'd also love to be able to solicit the storybook this year. Whether or not that's actually in hand this year or early next year still remains to be seen. That one, the storybook, still has a lot of work to go, because the page layouts on that are much more complex. The nice thing about the first 10 years book is, once we designed a page layout for the figures, 90% of this book are pages for the figures. So that's just duplicating pages and replacing images and text. You build that template, and we can pump that stuff out a lot quicker.
For sure. Okay. Anything else you can think of that might be worth telling people?
I mean, I'm just so excited for this year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we talked about it last year at Legions Con. 25 years of Four Horsemen Studios, 10 years of Mythic Legions. This is such a special year. And just recently on, my Mythic Conversation show, I was talking to Big Dub, and he had pointed out that he's expecting some surprises this year, but he feels like what he's seen so far in the first quarter is kind of expected. And I agreed. I said, it feels like the first quarter of this year has really been closing the book on last year. Because the Rising Suns wave that debuted at G-Con, that didn't end until mid-January. Then the February sale that we had been very clear saying these are going to be for sale in February, that was all us selling, standard versions of last year's figures. Even the retailer, the wave, a lot of people expected we were going to do repaints of the figure obscura, which is exactly what we did. The Cosmic Legions figure was probably the biggest surprise in that particular wave. So I do agree that this first quarter, while there's been a lot of cool stuff, it's definitely felt very expected. And I'm personally excited for quarter 2 and beyond, because that's really when the surprises start to drop.
Right, yes.
I will tell people, my advice to you is put some money aside, save some money this year, because this is going to be a Legions heavy year. It's going to be a Legions heavy year in terms of stuff we're going to drop and surprise you with. It's also going to be a Legions heavy year in terms of things that ship. Poxxus is shipping now. Some people have already gotten them. I know Rich may not have them yet. But
no, he finally got them.
He finally got them? I just wanted to poke fun at him there. But we are working really hard to get Necronominus out by the middle of this year.
Oh, wow.
We really want. It's funny listening to recaps and stuff, listening to your guys' recaps of last year and stuff, and hearing people talk about what a cosmic heavy year 2023 was. I almost didn't realize that we only shipped in 2023 for Mythics. It was like reinforcements, All-Stars 5, which is largely figures we already had, or at least parts we already had, and then like some the show exclusive stuff. But with that Poxxus wave shifting into 2024 for shipping, there wasn't a lot of brand new pieces, brand new types of characters, Mythic product in 2023. You guys, I heard you speculate that 2024 is going to be a Mythic heavy year, and yes, that is exactly what we're driving towards. We're still working on that balance, because this is a new world for us where we're balancing 3 brands. We're balancing Mythic Legions, we're balancing Cosmic Legions, and we're balancing Figure Obscura. They all have an important role to play.
They do.
And there's other stuff coming. There's other stuff.
Cosmic,
I know you are. I know you are.
I'm happy seeing that come in for sure.
I know. Yeah, Cosmic has been great. I love some of the Cosmic stuff. The ability to create these new characters and use these bold colors. And I had a few weeks ago, right before ZoloCon, I had a meeting with Eric where we sat down for an entire day. We were off-site because we were in the studio. We tend to get distracted by so much else going on. We were off-site, actually, ironically, at the Legions Con Hotel for the entire day, talking about the Mythic Legion story. What does Mythic Legions Book 2 look like? What happens in Book 2 and how does that impact the next story arc? How are we looking with Cosmic Legions? Just plotting out these stories, it just has me so excited, both for the narrative we have to tell and the figures that you're going to get to see out of it.
I'm as excited about Mythic as I am Cosmic as well.
Good.
As you say, it's going to be, it feels like it's going to be a big year. When you talk to other people in the community, and as you do when you're into these things, conjecture and prediction about what might happen, and you can tell everyone's like, we're going to get something big, we're going to get something. So I personally think Legions Con, the whole thing, G-Con, Legions Con this year is going to be, it's going to have a real good vibe about it.
Yeah, I mean, the hotel is already sold out.
Oh wow.
And now granted, because the hotel you don't pay up front for your room, there were some people that obviously booked rooms as a placeholder, and then if they can't make it as they get closer, they'll release those rooms. So they might actually release some of those rooms. But they gave us, I kid you not, they gave us 95% of the hotel on Friday and Saturday. Yeah. The Saturday is completely sold out, and I think the Friday has like 7 rooms left or something. So we're going to have overflow hotels that we did last year as well. They're right down the street, like a mile and a half away. So they're really close. Yeah. But I agree that this year, if you've never been able to make it out to Legions Con, there's no better year to go. The anniversary celebrations we're going to have, some of the fun things we have planned. This is going to be the year that people are going to walk away from Legions Con just saying, like, that was next level. Like, last year was amazing. They found a way to up the ante yet again.
And I think that's a very good place to stop.
So too.
So thank you very much for that, Jeremy. I really appreciate your time. Let's keep enjoying this weekend for now then.
You guys keep up the show. I'm absolutely loving your Allegiance podcast. I'm actually on the most recent episode now, so I'm almost caught up. I just finished the Mal Goes to America episode that ended with that. So I'm on the most current one. So guys, I love what you guys are doing. Keep it up as well.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And that's Malcolm Kennedy for your Allegiance podcast, signing off.
Wallet is sobbing. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
So there you go. That was Malcolm Kennedy of the Allegiance podcast. Just in case you didn't know. And Jeremy Girard of the Four Horsemen Studios. So that was a great little chat, Mal. I really enjoyed that, and really interested to hear about that book. That is. Like, I have all the He-Man books, and my favourite one is the Pixel Dan one with all the figures. And so this is basically the Legions version, isn't it?
And I think this type of book I'm actually more interested in than I am the story version book. Although, I'll get the story book. I think this could be really good. An interesting little tidbit in there where Jeremy mentioned that we haven't seen everything that will be in that book as well.
Yeah, I was thinking they're probably going to get the whole of the year's worth of announcements. I suppose, and as he mentioned, they have the template set up for the different pages. So, even if Trevor hasn't, they probably haven't finalized a lot of those figures, and Trevor definitely hasn't pictured them yet. So, he will definitely have a chance to take pictures, and then they can slot them in there with the bios and whatever other info. I'm sure they'll do a couple of more community nods in the figures for the rest of the year, and I'm sure that kind of info is in that book, so that'll be very cool.
Yeah,
I even saw from the pictures they shared from Muskecon, or from the announcement at Muskecon, I guess it was in his presentation, there was a couple of pictures from the book, like the layouts, and the My Wife guys and Cody were in one of the pictures.
Yes.
So they are actually making it into the book. That's awesome for them.
Well, that's ruined part of the book then.
You can skip that page, Rich, huh?
Yeah.
Very good. Anything more to say about that, Mal? The interview, or does it speak for itself?
I think Jeremy, as I say, once again, thank you, Jeremy, for making a bit of time for me, and he gave us some really great information there, and I'm excited about the book.
I'm so excited about that book. It those were everything I want of those sort of books. I think I sent you guys a link before. There's a G.I. Joe book like that, which has pictures of all the original vintage G.I. Joes and the stories behind it and all that sort of stuff, which I'm going to get at some point, although it's very expensive. So this sort of thing, again, just perfect for me. Sit there, cup of tea on a Sunday morning, just flip through the pages. Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, it's brilliant. And even, I know you can refer to the website, but just it's much easier with a book if you want to just sort all your figures and make sure you have the right weapons. I have a big box full of weapons that are obviously additional weapons for different characters, and maybe some from the odd weapons pack I've picked up over the years. But if I did want to kind of get all my collection together, and I don't know, say you were moving house or something, and you wanted to put all the figures into bags, or even if you were, God forbid, having to sell up, this kind of a book is great for just referencing it, and also for new collectors if they want to go back and get a fig, and they have the book to refer to, they can see what's coming and or what comes.
Yeah,
with
and
the
there's just something about having that practical thing in hand.
Oh yeah,
it's maybe it's an age thing. Maybe we're all we're all in our 40s. Me, not for much longer, but all in our 40s.
Yeah. Oh, you lean into that while you still can.
Yeah, it's we're just used to that sort of physical side of things. Yeah, it's physical comics to read, books, this sort of stuff.
I think as much as the world has gone digital, I think we all still like to hold stuff in your hand, and we're still tactile. I think there's definitely an element of that. Look at the figures, we're not going to be collecting NFTs of these figures, are we? That's not going to keep us happy. You need to be playing around with them and everything.
I do find it really funny how there are certain companies doing like digital. It's McFarlane, isn't it? Is the digital figure? It's like, what do I get from that? Absolutely nothing. I don't understand it at all.
Nothing. Yeah. Yeah, unless you're just really, I don't know. Yeah. As I said, that kind of thing might be an age thing. But I could see maybe having the digital NFT of a figure and having the figure as well, and maybe that's kind of special in itself. But yeah, just the digital, it's like owning an art print. Okay, it's an art print, great, but it's still a print. It's not the original. No matter how, no matter how much you convince me, it's the only version of that digitally that's kind of encrypted, whatever. It's like, nah, anyone can screenshot it.
Agreed.
Yeah, and in-stock sale is arriving. Mine arrived today. I took out a Demistros to have a little play around with. It's absolutely fantastic figure. The soft goods are top drawer. The paint job is much better in person. Not the head. I think the head you could see in all the photos was excellent and is as good as it looks. But the armor, I think it's hard to capture this armor in the picture as well as it comes across when it's you're just looking at it. It's excellent. I love the straps, the cape I haven't played around with yet, but yeah, it comes with really cool pauldrons. Comes with a weapon with an actual chain. Always my favourite. I am slightly regretting maybe not ordering only one of this guy, because I just got one for myself, but I could see it coming in very useful, or even just, if you wanted to introduce somebody to the line, this would be a great little fig to give away.
I think there'll still be some of those available at Legions Con.
Probably will, but it would have been easy just to throw a few more in the cart.
And what's your thoughts? So I think that version of that head is the best version of that head.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
I think it's excellent, yeah, because it's really well painted, and I love the green eyes, the way it's done. It's kind of, the green is even coming over the eyes, and you think, oh, was it that sloppy paint? But no, it's actually just to show that it's kind of glowing out over the eye. Because a glowing eye wouldn't just be in the eye and then suddenly you've got bone. It would be green. So it's really cool. Really like it, and that's if you have that figure, you could have a full line to yourself, a collection of one.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest way into a fully complete Four Horsemen line. So I got those. I got a few. Was there a few more things? Obviously, the single pack Walters and the blood armor. Nice to have them to use for parts, and probably customs and whatever. And Valiant Knights got a couple more, so the great figure, and just to have it this early in the process is always nice. Those parts will be all over the place within a couple of months' time, as you heard Jeremy. Hopefully mid of this year they're trying to get the first I would say Necronominus Wave 1 out. All-Star 6 being Necronominus Wave 2. So that's it. And then, a couple of, went together with a couple of local collectors here in Europe and got their figures. So I've boxed them all, or I haven't fully boxed them, but I've sorted them all out. So I'm going to send them a message tomorrow to sort out shipping and all that. But didn't have time today. So if they're listening tomorrow, I will get to them.
It's still turning up pretty quickly, to be fair. Yeah,
sure. But and again, as you see, Rich hasn't even had his shipping notice yet. So, there's guys that have ordered kind of group order with me, and they're going to get figures before you.
Yeah, I really have pissed the horseman off, haven't I, with my anti-noble bear stuff. I think Diego as a Viking cosplayer, etc., just gone screw that guy. He's last.
I still haven't made it to the cool club of getting a little note in the box saying, "Hey, your allegiance," or "Hey, John." I know it's sad. I know it's petty, but my life will be kind of complete when that happens one day.
That'll make it for you. Certainly.
Yeah. Or I'm never going to get like one of those cool drawings that Chris does on the bubble or whatever. That would be absolutely ridiculous to get. That would be really cool. But yeah, cool club, that'll come around one day. Another 100 episodes of this, and you might get a little note in the shipping box.
That's it.
And you got an in stock? You didn't get a shipping notice yet, Mal, or?
No, I haven't got it. I haven't got my shipping notice yet.
Did you sneak a figure or two away from Muskecon?
I did. Only a couple.
Like from the Horseman table, I mean, yeah?
Yeah. Tibius and Sir Owain.
Oh.
Because they had them, and I just never picked them up previously.
Oh, so you didn't even have...
I'm going to get them.
You didn't ever have even one of them, no? This was your...
No.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's nice to always add a new fig to the collection.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Two good figures. I love Tibius.
Yeah.
I know it's an older build, but with the two swords and all that sort of stuff, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is cool, yeah.
Well, it was partly just because he's a more basic skeleton. I never bothered, but as I say, it's where the little bit of completionist did slip in, and I saw them there, and I was like, stuff it, I'll get them. And I got another Poxxus to use for parts, because he's got some cool bits and pieces to him, hasn't he? And the cloth goods are very cool again on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Spoilers for in a bit.
Yeah, so we are going to do our Poxxus route. I also I was waiting
John,
for...
before we move on to someone else, can I just pick you and Gwion up on a couple of things from the last episode?
Oh,
please?
yeah. Oh, I'm getting
well, I was listening to it on the journey to and from work a couple of times this week, and
I'm just so happy you've listened to it. So whatever you say now is the blow is going to be softened.
A couple of things to say, Mal. I don't know if you've listened to it yet.
I had a listen, but
he listened with two of the Legion's royalty in a car.
I did. I quote John here. Yeah, it's nice not to be in the baldy club for once.
Yeah, I'll wear that.
Like, wow. Yeah. Wow, thanks for that, John. I mean, it's accurate, but wow. And then also, not picking you up, but in reference to the wedding and drinking too much.
Yeah.
I'd say I wasn't drunk at my wedding. However, I was breakdancing on the dance floor halfway through the evening. So I might possibly be a little bit drunk.
Amazing. Well, as I say, I got accidentally drunk at my wedding. I had no intention of getting drunk, but I suppose just one thing led to another. But to be honest, I held it together. It was just the next day I got like the worst hangover, and I've often been, how would you say, more drunk in terms of behaviour the night before and less hungover. But yeah, I didn't get that on my wedding day. But you know what? It was in August, so I could always sit out in the sun and bake it off, and then sit on a 24-hour journey to Australia for the honeymoon. So yeah, Anyway, and then get the shits and drive across Australia. So,
Gosh.
not related to the hangover. That's another story.
Watch out for the Patreon episode, everybody.
Maybe I'll talk through my honeymoon, that side of my honeymoon on the Patreon once. That'd be fun.
I was going to say, we don't need to know all about your honeymoon.
No.
It's not My Wife's Going to Kill Me Patreon episode. Let's keep it, fairly civil.
The tourist attractions of Sydney have some great toilet facilities, I have to say. So the other thing I wanted to mention, so I was waiting for a while for some stuff to come in stock at my local German paint supplier called PK Pro. They're a great shop. So if you're in the EU, definitely worth checking out. They ship all over the EU. And there's this new medium from Pro Acryl, and it's got a cool name. It's called Newsh, so Newsh. And it's a weathering medium, so you add it to your paint. And if you've ever seen miniature painters, some of these guys, they do stuff called oil washes, which is where they use oil paint and they thin it down with white spirits. So smelly and, it's messy stuff. So if you're not in the kind of oil painting world, there's a big barrier for entry for that. But they thin it down and then they wash the figures with it. And the beauty of that is that you can put a cotton bud with white spirits on and you can wipe all the paint off the flat parts or whatever. And you have loads of working time with it. And so you can end up with this cool effect where you have like wash where you want it and the rest of it is clean. Whereas if you put an acrylic wash on something, it's always going to stain the whole thing unless you kind of avoid it. But that can be tricky in itself. So this stuff is acrylic medium, but it's supposed to work a little bit like oil wash. So I'm going to give it a go over the next while. I think it'll be really cool for weathering stuff like, weapons and armor and stuff like that. But it'll just be cool to find. I've seen some YouTube stuff on it. I don't expect it to work exactly like an oil wash because, that would be dreaming. But I think it will be quite close. And it will be fun to report back on. So there's something, and it's 20 quid for a big bottle. How many milliliters is that? 120 milliliters. I don't know what that is in American, but it's a lot. It's about, I'd say 6 or 8 normal paint pots that you get from Citadel or, Vallejo. So plenty of it. So that'll be fun to see how that works on the customs, and that might be something new for this year. I know my buddy Eugene Unick, painter extraordinaire, Dr. Grimm's Customs. I think he's been messing around with it, so I need to see how he's been getting on with it. And I also got the Pro Grill fluorescent planes, so I'm going to give them a whack as well. Got a couple of cosmic heads that they're going to definitely make their debut on, so that should be fun. So
for our American listeners, 120 mil is 4.2 ounces.
4.2 ounces. There you go. Could bake a cake with that. It's funny because my mom, when she was baking as a kid, it was always in ounces, and she actually took ages to switch over to grams. And I still don't know what an ounce is. Right, so shall we get on and review the Poxxus Wave finally? Because as Jeremy tried to slag Rich off, which was quite funny in the interview about getting his Poxxus shipping, Mal assured him that he had, so Jeremy was happy about that, but also he was just, slagging you off. Yeah, someone has to be last, Rich,
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, Dennis Derby was apparently the very last box shipped out.
The very last one, yeah.
But Dennis had probably a couple of boxes, so I'm sure he wasn't out of out of figs in the meantime. So anyway, Poxxus, we're going to chat about the Poxxus Wave. We're going to go through the figures. We're going to kind of rank them, and right after this, we can say what we're going to do. So Poxxus, I'm gonna get the figures up here on our screen so we can see them. I do tend to put these up on YouTube these days, so if that's your kind of thing, you can go over to our YouTube channel and have a look. It probably this week, as we're recording late, it won't be on it straight away, so audio will still be the quickest way to get it. But yeah, we're going to go through the wave. We're going to talk about all the figures. Then we're going to talk about our favorite heroic and evil figure. We're going to rank the figures in order. We're going to talk about the figure that most surprised us in a good way. We're going to talk about maybe the best new part that we found. And then if we still have more to talk about it, we'll say maybe what our favorite thing about the whole wave is. And we'll also get on to some listener Patreon questions related to this. So, sound good to you, boys?
Sounds,
yeah, excellent.
Very good. So, here we are, the Poxxus wave. So, it was a long time coming, guys, and
longer for some of us than others.
But over 2 years, I really think we're probably moving away from that it will be shorter in the future. You know, okay, a year and a half. We're not talking about 4 months now, but I think if big waves like this come within a year and a half, I think that's much more palatable for the patients and the collection. But at the same time, when stuff takes a while to come, it also kind of is a nice surprise when it does eventually arrive. Overall thoughts then, Mal? Good wave?
Yeah, surprisingly so. I can't say it was one of my more anticipated waves of figures. Thought some of them were cool, obviously, and was excited to get to particularly the two brute scale characters. But no, to be honest, as a whole, it has surprised me, and I should know better, really, but it still did.
And Rich, did you manage to get them all open, or?
All apart from Thrace, because I've been feeling rough, so it's been a bit of a struggle to get through them. As much fun as opening toys are, I think I said to you guys, I was opening one the other day, and then I just had a blinding headache doing it. I was like, I'm just going to put that down and not come back to it for a few days. But apart from Thrace, yeah, I've not opened Thrace, but I've opened all the other ones. And it's, as Mal said, it's better than I thought it'd be, to be honest. Cool. It was one of the ones I was least bothered about, particularly because to a couple of the figures, but actually, it's really good.
Right, so yeah, that's interesting. That so my favorite faction is in this wave, so obviously I was quite excited for it. And yeah, I think overall it's an excellent wave. Kind of almost too much stuff in one go, if you know what I mean, to really appreciate it. But I think as we go through here, we might find things to further appreciate, and maybe we can point out stuff that others of us have missed or whatever. So Mal, as tradition dictates, are you up for reading the bios?
Oh yeah, go on, I'll give them a go.
I did write it in the notes, so. First up, we have Arakagor.
Okay, the ancient dragons of mythos are legendary creatures that are revered and even worshipped in some circles. Over the centuries, there have been countless sub-races and offshoots of these ancient beasts, with the Dragoseer being the most renowned. Like their dragon cousins, these mystical beings have close ties to otherworldly energies, which often steer these towering warriors towards magical practices. Like many of the noble brethren before him, the valiant champion Arakagor has pledged his fiery sword to the convocation of Basilia in hopes of eradicating the threat of Poxxus.
So, he's a good guy. Good dragon. So, I was already excited just to get a dragon in this scale and get a dragon in the line. We kind of, in the meantime, had the surprise not ruined, but kind of, we know what this body is like from Kragnar, and then some of the people that went to PowerCon last year would have got a Scourge as well, that comes like this. But overall, I think this guy has just an awesome paint job and also awesome armor. Really does look like a Mythic's figure. So, really cool. And he has the flame effect on the sword.
I must admit, he's the one I haven't opened yet.
Wow. Okay, Rich. So
he's a big, heavy boy, it's fair to say. I got the box out earlier. I was like, oh my good lord, that's really heavy figure.
absolutely. And what do you think of the sword with the kind of the symbol here on it? It's like a kind of a bat or something.
The sword's awesome. It's the ogre weapons don't generally do an awful lot for me. But this one's a good one, and the fact it comes with a flame effect as well. It's just awesome. He says staring at the flame effect on the picture to make sure I actually put it on correct. I think I have for once. Yay!
Yeah, he comes with the flame effect, and he comes also with obviously the sword, and then a couple of extra hands. So even now these days, the ogres are coming with multiple hands. So how the line has kind of moved along, it's amazing.
Tell you what I liked as well is he came wearing the pauldrons.
Yeah,
a couple of figures did, and that's really nice. So trying to get them in yourselves, it's like, yeah, they're already on, brilliant.
Yeah, it's probably easier to take them off than on. The tail is a little bit of a pain to put on, but there's actually a cheaty way of doing it. You can just kind of get it if you just lift the body a little bit up off the torso up off the waist piece, and you can slot it in there underneath, because it's kind of it's not like a plug or anything. It's a little kind of thing that. Yeah.
How easy did you find to do that, John? I had a few goes earlier and couldn't manage it, so I'll go back to it later.
It wasn't too hard in the end once I kind of figured out the right. I think you have to kind of go in under the soft goods, and then you're good.
Mm-hmm. Right, okay.
Yeah, so.
I wasn't lifting his skirt enough. I will make sure I do that.
Oh, wow. It's, you've turned over a new leaf there, have you?
Changed man after being ill.
So Mal, I can take it you weren't as excited because you haven't opened him, or what's the story?
Yeah. I must admit, of the wave, he's my least. He's all right. I mean, I think you know.
And what is would Scourge be any different then, or?
No, you see, I like that Kragnar head, so Scourge excites me a bit more.
You cosmic snob.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a bit of that. The dragon head is very cool, obviously, but...
Yeah, and it's got an articulated jaw and everything. So
yeah.
I bet you didn't know that, having not opened it.
Favourite. I didn't.
I don't know you, John, but when I was looking at it in the box before I took it out, and I was looking at the head going, that's too dark. It doesn't really go with the rest of the body. And then once you get it out, and especially when you open the jaw, it actually works perfectly. It just softens it a little bit. It's gone from that really dark blue everywhere to just breaks up a little bit and actually works really well.
Yeah, and I think it's just the way, I suppose, it is painted. It kind of matches more towards the bottom of the head. And then obviously the top of the head is, yes, definitely darker. But that's fine on the head once the kind of parts that kind of touch the neck or whatever kind of blend in. And yeah, as you say, when you open the mouth, then that kind of, that softens it as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I tell you what, the paint scheme caught me off guard. I'd heard people talking about the fact it was metallic and shimmery and that sort of stuff. But until you get it in hand and actually see how good it is, I don't think you can appreciate just what an amazing paint job it is.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's just incredible.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's just an effect they spray over the top of a very good paint job as it is. I guess it is.
Okay.
That would be my guess. But even so, just have the bravery to do that when you've done already a nice paint job with a lot of gradients and stuff like that. But yeah, I love this guy. I think he's probably one of the best ogre scale figures for me. I love the tail, and you could do more with him. Some sort of a lizard head, snake head on him, Rich, in the future. Do you think that would work?
Absolutely. Mark Calvo's got a couple of snake heads, actually. He's done an ogre scale. One of those would work really well on this.
There you go. Would that attract you more to him, Mal, for the snake head, or does it have to be a goofy space alien?
Yeah. Maybe once I crack him open, I'll be like, oh, wow, and blown away by it. But I don't know what it is. I'm just dumb.
We should put a message out to all the
Yeah.
I was going to say we should put a message out to all the vendors at Legions Con going, when you see Mal come in, just put a little sign out in front of whatever you're selling saying Cosmic. And he'll just be all over it. He might walk past it otherwise, but if you just put a little sign up saying Cosmic, he's going to be all over that.
It's not that, because it's, I don't know what it is. It's just, if anything, it's more the sort of dragon aspect of it that just doesn't do it for me. I really like the idea of a proper big dragon creature, but the dragon men, lizard men, this one doesn't do it for me. I like the idea of lizard men, don't get me wrong, but there's something about this one just doesn't quite do it for me.
See, Cosmic Knight. There you go, Mal. Get you.
I really love the armor with this guy as well. The sort of aged look they got to the paint job. It just gives it that really sort of ancient feel. You know, this is a creature that's been around a long time. Look how old his armor looks and that sort of stuff. It's
almost kind of Demistros-esque.
Yes. Yeah. I really love that effect to it.
Yep. So he's excellent. So we're going to go in alphabetical, I think it is. So
I feel like he'd probably go very well with the recently announced AWOC lizard people as well, wouldn't he?
I will never know.
Unless
they keep putting out these really cool sculpts, then I might know. I will see.
Don't Dubai.
Listeners,
very cool.
You know Rich's penchant for lizards and lizard people. Well, AWOC have some lizard heads in their latest Kickstarter, and a head's packed with lizards and stuff.
Yeah, I'm constantly sending Mal and John links to the latest post they put up with a lizard thing going, damn them, and ruder language and that quite often. It's like, God damn it!
Swallow your pride, will you? Come on, swallow your pride. Well, one man who's probably not going to swallow his pride is the evil wizard, Arazak, from the Circle of Poxxus, obviously being evil. So Mal, maybe you can take us through his bio.
Once a young wizard rising through the ranks of the Convocation of Basilia, Arazak is a devious and cruel sorcerer bent on promulgating the word of Poxxus. Unsatisfied with the ancient approved texts of Agbendor that his fellow acolytes were studying, Arazak was constantly thirsting for more knowledge, more spells, and more power. His pursuits led him away from the kingdom of Ophidian and the Tower of Basilia and into the chaos of the Nethergate, where he gathered with members of the Circle of Poxxus. One convening was all that it took for Arazak to find his new home amongst like-minded sorcerers searching for insight into sinister power.
Ooh. So, I think he's probably the coolest wizard of the lot.
Agreed.
Even though we'll talk about the others, but and I think the thing for me that makes him the coolest is the open mouth expression. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think with all of these I've used the alternate head. But this one, the whole screaming anger, like, I'm going to destroy you sort of feel to it is really love that.
And he's also, we've had this a lot through the lore. He's another switcheroo character, going from the good faction to the bad faction. Well, that's been a bit of a tradition over the time with various figures. So that's pretty cool, I have to say. So Mal, what's your overall thoughts on this guy?
I was surprised just how good this guy is. I think he's an exceptional figure. Love the cloth goods. Just a badass little figure. The spell effects on his, if you put them on his staff, look real, just make it a really cool, dynamic character. Again, I think, the Screaming Head is the head to use just because there's so much more, adds so much more character to him as well.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it's just exceptional figure.
And you, Rich?
I love him. I have to admit, I was not underwhelmed, that's not the right terminology, but I wasn't as impressed in person as I was in the build-up. I think maybe I'd got so excited about him. And that maybe is the 2.0 body as much as anything. It just feels like he should be a bigger figure. But I do still really like him. Maybe I was slightly soured by the fact that he's got the only stiff joint I've had 2 out of any of the ones I've opened. His right leg just wasn't going to bend, so I had to put a good bit of heat on that, but is now absolutely fine.
But you didn't snap it off, no?
I did not snap it. As soon as I felt that resistance, I took it upstairs, grabbed my wife's hairdryer, because strangely enough, I don't need one. Heated it up and sorted.
Very good. You've seen some people, including our friend Curtis, they've just slapped his head on a Marvel Legends body and put the soft goods over it, and then they have a Legion's body to do something else with. That kind of works. I'm very, very tempted to do that, if I'm honest. Yeah.
As you know me, I moan about 2.0s, but then I've already got an idea for a 2.0 character with that darker body that would work really well.
Oh. I love this kind of over-the-shoulder, kind of almost joined-together pauldrons, kind of ornate neck piece. It's really nice.
How did you guys find getting that on?
A pain in the backside.
Yeah, I ended up having to... I was going to say I ended up having to just heat the torso. And that was the only way it would go on. It wouldn't go in otherwise.
Yeah, and also trying to line it up and with the soft goods. It was very fun.
Yeah, I found it a real pain, and then suddenly it just went on really easily. It was like...
the belt is a bit that way as well, isn't it?
Yes.
And then you have these accessories that come with the belt. You don't see it in the accessories picture, but you see it here. You have the 2 bone pieces, so I think that head also comes with Beluadit, possibly the dog that she has, whatever it's called. And then
the bone chimera
the bone chimera, that's it. And then also you have the little kind of potion bottle-y things that kind of attached to the belt. So that's that's just nice. They're a little bit fiddly, but they work.
Yeah, I found with this and same with Samir that the belt popped open, which was fine. But getting it to stick back together was a bit of a pain. I mean, it's there now and is okay, sort of thing. But then when you try and put the little potion bottles and that over, it pops open again, and you're like, come on.
Yeah. But eventually it does, and you could always, once you have it in the final configuration that you want, you could always dab a little bit of glue at the clasp, and
yes, absolutely.
Then you've got what you want. So. That's Arazak.
What did you think?
I love magic effects. Sorry, Rich. Yeah,
I was going to say I love the collar piece, despite the hassle of getting it in. But if you have him with a hood, and I quite like him with a hood, you can't really see the back of the collar piece particularly, so it loses quite a bit. So I think that's maybe a bit of a shame that it didn't stick out more to the sides.
Look at it there.
Higher
Look at it there with the hood still.
I know, but you can't see the right bit right behind the head.
Yeah.
Whereas, because that's the raised bit where I think if the sides, the pauldron sides were more raised, then you could have it with the hood as well. It would still look that intimidating sort of thing.
Yeah. I think it still looks okay, but I see your point there, yeah. That maybe it's a little bit hidden by the hood. The flame effects, they're awesome. Or the magic effects. It's not flame effects. They're really good and they work really well. They're kind of enough kind of soft plastic that they just kind of work without being brittle. It's really good, really nicely done.
And you can sort of put them on anyhow you want as well, can't you? Which I think is quite handy.
Yeah,
it's not like you have to line it up.
Yeah, you're not trying to get his little finger and his thumb kind of lined it together. Yeah, just kind of, you can just fudge it on and it's fine. That do anything for you, Mal? You like that? Or
Yeah. I thought the effects were really, really cool. All of them have, except Zendaya, have got effects on them. I've added them to the older characters where I can as well. I think the effects are very cool. I've actually got it. Looks like from the pictures upside down. It's because at the bottom there's like tendrils reaching out, so it looks like it's kind of licking that crystal at the top and maybe coming out of the crystal at the top.
Yes. The weapon as well is really nice with that kind of red crystal thing. Yeah,
and the spooky sort of the legs of the creature, like the ones that Poxxus has got on his hat, going around it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay.
The spare hands that he came with, they're really quite creepy, to be honest. Is that a new piece? Have I missed that from another figure before? The sort of old man, wrinkly, long hands with pointed nails, sort of thing.
They're new.
They're new, yeah.
They're really good. That really adds something to the figure.
Yeah, they're kind of like the spell casting hands or whatever.
Yeah. But that really adds something to me. Yeah. They're like, ooh, sort of thing. But they're good.
Yeah.
Sorry, anybody who's listening who might have long, crinkly fingers with pointed nails, but ooh.
Right, Azahazer.
Right.
So he is the combination of Azar and Zazar, as Mal is about to tell you now.
As the callous ruler of the Netherrealm, the Demon King Azar was a nightmarish legend feared by all. It was only when the dark god Poxxus summoned him into the world of mythos that the nightmare became all too real for those on the mortal plane. Poxxus' summoning had the side effects of Azar being divided into the twin demons Azar and Zazar as the generals of the Circle of Poxxus. Azar and Zazar spent ages searching for the Plague Slayer, Poxxus' cursed bow, in hopes bringing about his return. Upon his arrival, Poxxus has now granted the demon twins their wish, recombine them into the mighty Azar. As a commander of the Poxxus army, Azar wields his power to destroy and beget life with a mere touch.
Yeah, he's pretty dangerous, dude.
Yeah.
And also that means that you can throw your Azar and Zazar in the bin, no? Because he is now
probably the best place for them.
Oh, shots fired.
Mine have both been ripped apart and used for other things.
I see. He's awesome. Another one of the best overscale figures, I think, coming in this wave, and definitely the best. That weapon is amazing with the two orbs on top. And it's kind of blue and yellow.
A little too big for my shelf. the staff, so
you have to kind of angle it
using the magic effects.
Okay. Those magic effects really work really well on the arms as well.
They're really cool, aren't they?
Aren't they great? Yeah, I really love those.
Yeah. And again, an absolutely cracking paint job on this guy, and that is fluorescent paint, the bright green. So if you shine a black light on it, it will glow up. So it's not glow in the dark, but if you shine a black light on it, it will glow. So you see it there on the face. So really, he's really well done. It really works well. The paint job is amazing. And what about the pauldrons? What do you think of those?
Yeah, they're a nice sort of take on, aren't they, with a different shape and
yeah, they're kind of figure
organic sort of things. Yeah.
And the big Poxxus on the belt, pretty
That's
badass.
Really cool. I love that belt.
Yeah,
it's a great bit of sculpting
with some purple soft goods.
Yeah, who doesn't love the purple and green combo? Absolutely perfect.
There's a bit of a theme here, yeah.
Yeah, I really like this guy too. Obviously, he's a magic user and he's got the staff and he's got the flame effects and that sort of thing. But he's also one big mother humper. And you wouldn't want to get in a fist fight with this guy, would you? Sort of thing. He's got that menace to him as well. You can see him using his horns to just like gouge people and throw them out of the way and all this sort of stuff. So I really like that intimidating sort of feel he brings. Not just a magic user, but really big guy.
Absolutely.
I agree with you about him being one of the best ogre scale figures in the line. Him and Noble Bart probably.
They're your two favourites?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Ogre scale, I should clarify.
Yeah, so that's as a hazer. How are you going to display him in front, like behind the other two, or kind of on the shelf with them, or how does it work?
He's going to be sort of tucked in the back for me, which is how all my ogre scale ones are.
Would you do a little display with Azar and Zazar, or?
They'll just be in front of him because they're part of the
faction.
Circle, yeah, the faction.
And well, Rich, you have yours in the bin, so
that won't be an issue for me. Maybe I'll get their heads and put them in front of him. You could wear them as a necklace or something like that.
Right, Kalazir. Then we have the Djinn Brute Scale. A new scale for us then in Legions, Mythic Legions. We've had it in Cosmic Legions, even if this guy was the first Brute Scale figure announced. Mal, take it away. Kalazir.
Born of an elemental fire that transcends our physical plane, the Djinn of Mythos are an enigmatic people known for their great power and unpredictable allegiances. Considered spirits by some and demons by others, they're mighty beings who draw their abilities from the elements, typically bound to inanimate objects by wizards and spellcasters seeking to tame their unruly strength. Djinn are both all-powerful and prisoners of their own unruly strength. Prisoners of their own existence. The malevolent Kalazir is a rare Djinn who has been freed from his bondage. Bent on revenge on the magic wielder that imprisoned him, Kalazir is faithful to the cause of Poxxus and his war through honourable magic.
There you go. I would have preferred him to be a good guy. I don't know why. But a very cool character and a very...
Disney's corrupted you, John. That's why you'd have preferred him to be a good guy.
Oh, don't be talking like Steve Bisciotti to me.
I didn't know he'd said that. No, in that case, I take back that statement completely.
So he's an aeromancer. There you go. Ever heard of that before?
No.
There you go. So he is very cool. He comes with this ridiculous sword. Let's talk about the sword first, because that is bananas. It's it's a dude's, it's a kind of a demon-y kind of head or whatever, spitting out fire onto the blade, and then obviously with the handle behind that. This is one of the best swords in the line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's an incredible weapon.
Impressive. Yeah.
I wish the handle was a little bit thicker.
Okay.
It has me slightly twitchy trying to put it in, but yeah, as a weapon, it's amazing.
Yeah, that almost looks like Azar, does it? Or Zazar, sorry. Azar on the hilt there. Yeah, and then with the gold kind of flames coming up here, it's just awesome. Really nice colours. Comes with the genie lamp. I had this down as one of my favourite accessories when I was on Legion's Cast there a couple of weeks ago. I just think it's really cool. It's really well painted, and it's a perfect little genie lamp. It's so ornate.
Yeah, because I've got one of the 3D printed ones that somebody made, which is really good, but obviously it's so much more fragile than this. So it's quite nice to have a genie lamp that, you can drop on the floor and it'll be fine.
You can indeed, yeah. You like the accessories here, Mel?
Yeah, I think they're great. I think it's a fantastic looking figure.
Yeah.
Everything about it's great. The soft goods are fantastic again. It's sculpted and that big piece of hair that goes into it. It all just looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
I really like the the combination of the soft goods sort of thing. You know, there's 3 different types of stuff going on there, but they all weave in really well together. I wasn't quite sure initially, but actually, having got it in hand, then they work really, really well and really cleverly together.
Yeah, absolutely. And then with the kind of magic effects as well on it, it's really nice. I'd love to find a way of kind of using them coming out of the lamp. That would look cool.
Somebody, was it David? I think it might have been David Williams who did that, as if he's coming out of the lamp and the magic effect is coming up.
Yeah, but David is way more talented than me, so, you know. If you could get someone more on my hack level and let me know how they did it. And then obviously a couple of hands and this cool kind of almost like a mayor's chain that goes over the top of him.
That's that, and the real metal earrings, which are incredible, by the way. It's such like bling sort of effects to go with it, isn't it? It's like, you know, I'm a really nasty, vicious djinn, but look, I've got, you know, look at my earrings and look at the cool chain I've got, and that sort of stuff. It's like I am bling as well.
You got me hoopy earrings. Yeah. Also a very subtle kind of paint job here with the kind of highlights there. It's kind of almost a bluish or yellowish blue there on the kind of torso and on the kind of raised parts of the muscles, whatever. So really nice job there. And the head sculpt is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I like the sort of differentiating colour schemes to the paint job, because I think when they first showed him, although I think he was my most anticipated figure, the paint job did look a little flat. No, that's not the end of the world, but they just, you know, whatever they've done since then has just added that bit of extra to it.
Yeah, and obviously he's got cracking soft goods as well.
Oh yeah.
More purple. And the hairpiece is spectacular. I mean,
hairpiece is so good.
Yeah. Anything more to say on this guy for you, Mal? Or sorry, I wasn't. I was on my share screen.
Back. He's back.
It's okay. I'm back. I just grabbed a drink and yeah. No, I think he's a great figure. He was. All the brute scale stuff I'm really chuffed with. It's, you know, it's taking the chonkiness that I love about these figures and making them more chonky, isn't it? So, you know.
Taking the chonky and doubled it.
Can I just say as well, he seems to be like the favourite figure in the wave for an awful lot of people. So on the off chance that Eric or I think Jeremy does tend to listen to us, here's this. It's like more gins. They're clearly popular.
More gins, more tonic, bit of lemon.
I can't exactly remember, but we're going to do an episode where we go over what we sort of looked at and our predictions for the waves and that. I think there's another couple of months yet, because I think we mentioned Necronominus in there, but I think along with Jeremy, I think we predicted this would be the sleeper of the wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he definitely probably was at the time, but not anymore.
Nope, there'll be a lot of people wishing they got him and wanting to get him, I'm sure.
I haven't gone up to date with what's been selling out at the retailers, but if anything has, it's likely to be him.
I was thinking to myself the other day and chuckling away. I was thinking, like, the one thing I haven't seen anybody complain about yet, and there's no need to complain about it, but people are petty, is that the brute scale figures come in an ogre scale box. He's like, I'm amazed, and no one's gone, no, I want a different scale box for when I keep them all in the box, and then there's different heights to go with the different figures.
Didn't even cross my mind. Didn't even notice it. I need to go check now, but I believe you, obviously.
Yeah, no, because I got confused as hell when I first opened my box up. It was just like, well, I've got 4 ogres, and then like, oh no, okay, yeah.
Right, short biography for you here, Malphilogius.
Yeah. Triumphantly riding atop his rotting horse, Flogius, Poxxus travels the roads of Mythos with the intention of poisoning the realm and all those that live within.
There you go. So we've got the Rotting Horse. I have to say, due to space constraints, this is the one I haven't unboxed yet. Although I've had a good look at him in the box. And if you're looking at us on video, you can probably see a 2-pack there behind me. It's a great looking horse, and obviously you got the addition of the armor here. Rich, what's your...
I had a quick play with him, then put him back in the box and in the loft until I have room to display him. I'm going to customise him like I do with most of the horses. John, in fact, I might be speaking to you about some paintings and parts at some point regarding that. But he won't stay in this format. At the end of the day, he's a horse. Their horses are good. I think the one thing I would say, and I think just about everybody said the same thing, is there should be more rotting parts on him.
Yeah, it would be nice. Yeah, that would kind of differentiate.
Yeah.
The head is great, and obviously the hair and the one leg, but even a bit of paint maybe on the other legs would have.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a new sculpt, particularly just a bit of paint or something. But yeah. Just to give that really rotting look.
Mal, are you keeping Flogius? Are you going to keep him for Poxxus?
Yeah, I've opened him. I put him and Poxxus out on my shelf with the other two of Horsemen, or the Dark Four, sorry.
Is Poxxus riding him, Mal?
No, he stood next to him. They're all stood next to them. He's kind of Rich sums it up. He's a horse, isn't he? And they're good. They do good horses.
That's the next line.
With this guy, it is very much his head and his hair are the high points, aren't the strong points of it, the best bits of it. And they look great.
Really, yeah, it's really, obviously really well painted and everything. But let's get on to the main man here. So we got Poxxus. The wave is named after him. He is the horseman in this wave. Take it away, Mal, for the bio of Poxxus.
A terrifying visage of sickness and decay, the spiteful god Poxxus is pestilence incarnate. Dripping with disease and crackling with menace, the horrific sight of Poxxus alone is enough to inspire dread. Armed once again with his deadly bow, the plague sayer, Poxxus can fire off hordes of infectious insects with every pull of his string. Triumphantly riding atop his rotting horse, Flogius, Poxxus travels the roads of Mythos with the intention of poisoning the realm and all those that live within.
Yeah, so great bio. Obviously, for one of the Dark Four, that's to be expected. This is an amazing figure.
Yeah.
Between the soft goods and whatever you get. I actually had to grab mine here just to kind of give him justice. The only thing I will say about mine is that wing. It just doesn't stay. I don't know why. So I've tried to kind of, how would you say, make the joint a bit more kind of, I've put a bit of varnish on the joint and stuff like that, but it hasn't worked yet. So I'll have to keep working on it and see. So that's the only annoying thing. But otherwise, great figure. The soft goods, I've seen so many customs of these soft goods now that I feel like I should buy another 10.
John, I was thinking actually.
All the soft goods.
Yeah.
With the wing, you could say one of the wings is rotting. That's why it's dropping.
Yeah.
He's infected his own wing.
Yeah. His wing is a wang.
Oh, here we go. Would that make it a demon wang then?
Is he a demon?
It's an infected wang.
Oh, nobody wants an infected wang. Oh dear.
Oh, referee. So, who wants it? Mal, tell us. Poxxus.
I think he's my favourite figure. Tharnog was my most anticipated, but I think this guy takes it. I think he's the best one in the wave. So much detail in him. so much detail in him. So many great parts. The colours, you know, I love the bow. The bow with the wings on.
The bow with the wings on is ridiculous, and then you get a spare bow as well.
Yeah, the bow with the wings, though, it's terrifying doing anything with it because you put a little bit too much pressure on those wings, and they're done.
Yeah.
But it looks incredible. As I say, I bought a second one for the soft goods.
You're right, yeah.
I've managed to get him posed so he's holding the bow with the arrow. You know,
I must say the people that have used the collar soft goods, I can't get it. Maybe it's my ineptitude, but I can't get it to look as good as a lot of people have done. My little collar soft goods, it just seems to be so stiff, and that seam where they sew the kind of the strip of fabric together to make it a circle. It's really, really kind of not pliable at all. So, yeah, I found it a little bit frustrating, but I've seen so many people use it to good effect that I kind of just think it's me. I'm willing to accept that.
I don't know. I'm not sure I've got it like making it look amazing or anything, but I'm quite happy with the way it looks.
Yeah. I mean, even the kind of skirt piece or the kind of tabard piece is wired, which is just incredible. Yeah. And even though the night legs are a bit boring, that just works with the rest of the figure because you got the torso is.
It's funny you mention the legs because that's the bit that I'm like, when I think about it, I'm like, it would have been interesting to see something else done with that, but it works, doesn't it? It really does work.
It does. Yeah. And then the pauldrons are also magnificent. I'd like to see these reused again. They haven't been reused as far as we know.
No, their first time as well, I think. So.
Obviously the
pauldrons.
Torso comes with Scally Bone Splitter as well in a different colour.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Those pauldrons are amazing though. Just the whole chainmail bit coming off them is just I love that.
So Rich, anyway, give us your love for Poxxus.
I love him. This was my most anticipated figure of the wave. And spoiler alert, he's not my favourite one of the wave, having gone through them. But he is still an incredible figure. I couldn't wait to get my hands on the arrow effect with the insects, and that didn't disappoint. It's just a beautiful piece of plastic. It's absolutely awesome. The insect legs coming out of his head. The sort of, again, the sort of metallic colouring on that and the way it just glimmers is just beautiful. And I love the fact too, and I don't think I spotted this in the run-up to it, that, there you go, John showed it on the screen, that you've also got those same legs coming out of the belt piece, which I just didn't pick up on pre him arriving. But I love the connection there between the two.
Yeah, you got the little legs coming out of the belt piece there.
And the insect leg is sticking out of the pouch as well. I find that really fun.
Yeah.
So, a little.
There goes the wing. It's giving up the ghost. Yeah. And the skin tone works really well as well, I find.
Yes.
It does. What do you guys think about the beard? In hand, I think the beard's too long. It obscures too much, I think, personally.
Oh, right.
I don't know, I really like it.
No, it comes out, you see. Look. So I think that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. I didn't think anything.
Maybe it's because it's obscuring his demon wang. Maybe that's my issue with it.
I think we all need to go to therapy and talk about demon wangs. Join our Patreon if you want to hear more about demon wangs, because there is a long conversation about demon wang.
Long demon wang.
In one of our Patreon episodes. So there you go. So we need to keep moving along here. So that's Poxxus. Samir Scrollwarder, a good wizard. So tell us about a good wizard, Mal.
keeper of the great library of Agbendor, Samir Scrollwarder is a wizard as renowned for his inexhaustible knowledge as he is for his bountiful magical powers. After spending much of his life studying the books and scrolls of Agbendor, Samir has learned the secret ways of mages that span the entire history of Mythos. Although his primary charge is to serve as a protector of the invaluable texts of Agbendor, Samir Scrollwarder is a formidable warrior in the struggle to contain Poxxus and his evil servants.
So, listen to that now. He's not the dude from the story, is he?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
Not the apprentice, no. The one that you...
No.
The master or whatever. Could be, but it's not really obvious here. Yeah. But
it's not definite, is it?
There's no reference to the red the red star.
I feel like that guy was getting a bit corrupted without realising it.
He was. So Samir, good wizard, double soft goods here, which is pretty sweet. Has to be said. People have kind of called him boring, in terms of compared to the rest. I mean, I kind of understand, but I mean, I also think he's awesome for a wizard.
Yeah.
I think that maybe 2 years ago he was probably more awesome, but now we've seen what we're getting these days.
Yeah.
And this might be a little bit of Samir's problem. Not the fact that he isn't an awesome figure standing on his own. It's just that, we've got maybe more interesting, more kind of cool looking figures with amazing soft goods. So, he kind of doesn't stand out anymore like he might have done when he was being shown off.
So it's funny, isn't it? Because when I opened the wizards first and I had them lined up, and this applies to all four of the smaller wizards, let's call them.
The 2.0 wizards, yeah.
Yeah. And I felt like I was looking at something that someone who wasn't into the line might look at and go, oh, wow, that's Dungeons and Dragons, or, that's something they recognise as just being a cool wizard from a fantasy novel or something, and might actually bring some people into the line. Yeah,
I got you. Yeah, I mean, that's really definitely a very good shout. Yeah, and, we're talking about this guy with the kind of hindsight or the kind of insight of being a fan of the line for, a long time. So when you look at it a little bit from the outside, I mean, this is just a cool wizard dude, So, Rich, burst our bubble.
This was the guy I was looking forward to the least. Aside from the horse, he's still my least favourite figure in the wave. I just think he's boring.
So, you are that guy?
There's nothing wrong with boring necessarily. If you're into that, that's fine, but he's just boring. I do really love the skin tone. Yeah. Jeremy was saying how they decided, to try and get more of sort of an Indian or the Asian subcontinent sort of skin tone into the line, and I think it works really well. It's actually a bit darker, I think, than looked in the promos, but that's really good. So I'm going to have mine without the blue cloak, so he's got more like a yogi sort of feel to him. So rather than a full-on wizard sort of thing, it's more like a tribal healer type sort of look. But no. One thing I do love though is the spellbook with the chain around the neck. That's pretty cool.
Yes,
that's nice.
Very cool.
I'm trying to find a good way of how he can hold that or point to it or do something with it. And I'm not sure I'm there yet, but that's a really cool accessory.
And what do you think of the tattooed head?
That's the one I'm using.
Yeah.
Again, it's just
it's very cool.
It fits more with the sort of yogi feel in my head. What that looks like. It's some sort of facial tattoo stuff as well. So
I think he's Dalsim after Street Fighter ended.
Could well be
career change. Yogi Flame. Yogi magic.
Does that mean the beard? Does that mean the beard shoots out as well?
Yeah.
Just grab
That
you.
would make him less boring for you. I gotta just push back. I think it's the beige, honestly, that kind of has people talking about the boring. I mean, he's got a blue cloak with a hood over these kind of plain robes. I mean, he's got that book with the chain. He's got the staff with the... Okay, it's a little bit plainly painted, the staff, but it's in gold with the wash, still sweet.
I really love that staff, although I have swapped the gold one he comes with out for one of the silver ones from the silver one from the weapons pack.
That's a good shout.
Because I think that works. That works nice with him.
You can put the magic effects around it,
which looks good.
Yeah. So I think in time this might grow to be one of those figures.
I think so. Yeah.
I think the 2.0 is maybe clouding your judgment here, Rich. Now, when I come to my ranking, I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to have him high up, but I think he is an awesome figure.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on this one, John.
But speaking of awesome figures, we have the one and only, the other brute scale in the wave, Tharnog.
As an intermediary between the mortal and the spirit worlds, the orc shaman Tharnog's power is obtained from arcane knowledge gained from the realm beyond. In his younger days, his mystical skills were brandished as part of Queen Urxa's quiet resistance against the orc's servitude to the Legion of Arathir. Inspired by Urxa's desire for orcish freedom, Tharnog relocated himself and offered to wield his gift for the righteous fight alongside Hera Serpent Spire and the convocation of Basilia.
So, good orc finally, which is awesome. Well, we have another good orc recently, which is the Lee J alternate head sculpt. He's another good orc. But Tharnog is original. Before I wax lyrical, what do you think, Rich, Tharnog?
Wow, I think would be my one-word description for this guy. I wasn't as excited as you two in the build-up to this, and then the second I got him out of the pack, I was just like, oh my god, this is a thing of beauty. I think I need all my orcs this scale now. I said I wouldn't, and I wanted him as a sort of an unusual orc sort of thing, being bigger than the rest, but he's so good, I just need him all this size now. I absolutely adore this guy. I mean, the orb hand too, that's such a clever little thing to do. So it's already attached to the hand, so it's not going to fall out or anything like that. I wasn't sure I'd use the antlers either, I have to admit, because they were so big, but actually, I think if you go back to the picture with the antlers, John, I think I've set them up differently to how the horseman did it.
Okay.
And so I've got them going the other way, so I've swapped them over. So they're more horizontal than vertical.
Okay. Yeah, that can work. I was looking at the pictures while I was setting them up, but I did, of course, sod's law, I did it the wrong way around first, but I actually found it still looked good. So, yeah. I can see that.
But no, overall, I love this guy.
Did you have a loose pauldron, or was it okay?
The two of them were a little loose. They weren't falling out, but they weren't sitting snugly. If you move the figure around, they're going to start moving a bit. But not the end of the world at all.
Yeah, so I assume this is what you mean by the pauldrons, is it?
You're a little small on my screen there, John.
There you go.
Yes, basically, yeah.
Let me give Tharnog a look up there. Yeah, so if I just adjust them up there. Yeah, so you see... Yeah, so you could do it like that, and that looks kind of cool as well, I think, yeah. So
I like that. I also left the grey fur off completely on mine.
Okay.
I know some people have shifted it to the back, which means that's what I've done here. Of stuff. Yeah. But I just really like the whole, an orc sort of
I have
look to him. So
I have a number of Tharnog, so he won't be the only one that I'm configuring. So yeah. It'll be fine. Right, so Mal, what do you think of Tharnog?
I must admit, he's another one that I haven't fully unpacked. I had to open him up and get a proper look at him because I was so excited about him.
Right, we're going to pause. You're going
But well, partly just because he's such a big figure with the pauldrons, I was kind of like, I'm not sure I need to move things about a bit and just haven't really had the chance to do that. So he might well be opened up this weekend properly.
Well, I'm sure listeners can hear a little bit of how maybe tired you are.
Yeah. The voice is a little bit shot from aircon and airplanes and
drinking.
Blame America when the bios aren't as smooth as usual.
There was hardly any drinking done at all.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Didn't drink a glass of water the whole weekend.
Yeah, well, there was a day that I said to Nate or to Trevor, I forget which of the two it was, I was like, it dawned on me, I probably have only drunk beer today.
I mean,
which can't be healthy.
What too cool? Like, it was definitely cooler hanging out with them all weekend than me and Rich. Surely.
Oh no!
Whoa! Whoa!
I did at one point feel a little bit like I was a Make-A-Wish kid. It was talking to Jeremy, talking to Trevor and Nate, and then spending a bit of time with the My Wife guys, and it's like. Yeah. As somebody told me I'm not going to live much longer. It's it's funny, isn't it? Because we're at least friendly. I would like to say some of them are our friends, but it's still like these guys. It's awesome to be around them and spend time with them.
If people had seen the three of you, they must have thought, "Oh, look, there's that one," and not heard you speak. There's that one guy, and there he is with his two twin brothers. Look,
yeah, it's the. I did think that. I was looking at a photo, and I was like, it's like the three. What they called the brothers from Emmerdale? Not Emmerdale, from EastEnders.
Oh, the Mitchells.
The Mitchells is like the Mitchell brothers, isn't it?
All right, Grant.
All right, what are you doing?
Yeah. Trevor and Nate have a little bit of work to do in the accent. I think you can get there, man. Also quite underrated, and I watched it back only yesterday. You were on Shooting the Shelf with the guys as well.
Oh, yes.
You didn't even mention that to us. That was funny. Well, I mean, obviously that was kind of unplanned, was it?
Yeah, we got a message, very last thing, and that's why we're all sort of piled around the one computer. Yeah. Well, we'd probably have to do that anyway if you're in the background, be like...
Yeah. Were you sitting down? Because it looked like you were all standing up.
No, we were sitting on.
Okay, because I at the start I kind of flicked to the end to see if you were still on it, the whole way through, and you were still looking like you were standing up, and I was like, how is he not lying down like at this stage? He must be tired.
we were wiped by that point, even like
Yeah. But crazy Curtis driving back from was a 10-hour drive back to sit in the live stream then for another couple of hours.
Yeah.
What a man. And Jesse as well did go in the opposite direction. It was funny, the two guys just basically went like the opposite direction from Michigan to hook up again on the internet. If you want to hear the definition of insanity. Anyway, Tarnog, we've gone off the rails a bit with Tarnog.
So I was going to ask, so which head have you guys used? Because again, I think I'm going to use the tattooed one on him. I just really like
I just have the regular one for the moment.
Yeah.
But the tattooed one is awesome.
It is. I've gone tattooed one again. Yeah. I don't think I've kept any
war
original
paint
so
one, really more than
it's more war paint, isn't it, on him? Yeah.
The weapon, this also made my Legion's Cast weapons. We were talking about accessories. This was one of my top 10. I went for one perfection, so this was my best weapon out of the Convocation of Basilia. Hard to argue when you see it. Some people were saying maybe it's a little bit thin, like your complaint with the Kalizir sword, but I think it's enough thin, and I don't like when it's so thick that you're risking scraping the paint off trying to put it in the hands. So
I think it's a tricky balance, I think, because the staffs for the 2.0 wizards are too big.
Yeah. Yeah,
for their little
like
hands.
Hera Serpent Spire's cool staff, but to get her to hold it is like an ordeal.
Yeah,
You're taking your life in your own hands with it. Yeah,
And he's permanently stuck in this. Like,
I think I'm looking over. Yeah, my Hera has a sword because I think I gave up on the staff. So Tarnog is awesome. As Rich says, all the rest of the orcs should be like Tarnog, in a way, or at least the leader orcs. You know, the likes of Urzok 2.0. Forget about getting an All-Stars Urzok. 2.0 Urzok in Brute Scale. And just forget about that other one.
Queen Urxa, the first Brute Scale
Female.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it? That'd be very cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thinking I like. Another thing to note of Tarnog is the wrist wraps are basically overlays for the hands and feet. So you basically have a naked sculpt of a body there. So Brute Scale Barbarian, where are you?
We'll get him. I've got no doubt we'll get one eventually.
Oh, was that the little after chat you had with Jeremy?
No.
You went, right, we've had Necronominus and we had All-Stars 6, which is the year of the skeleton. I assume there's going to be 4 barbarians in whatever the next Mythics wave is, Jeremy. And that's not... I haven't come to America and bought a gun straight away in Walmart. I swear. No? You didn't do that?
No, I didn't try and encourage him.
Such a nice guy.
He didn't give me any pointers either, you know.
Anyway, we'll get back to it on our top.
Yes.
Our ranking of the wave. Tarnog equals awesome. I think we have unanimity in that. Thrace Wraithaler, her of the Gamini. Take it away, Mal.
Elusive and dangerous, the pale-skinned Doomengheist are thought by many to be apocryphal. Corrupt supernatural mingling of flesh and phantasm, the ashen-skinned Doomengheist are all too real to those unfortunate enough to cross their path. Thrace Wraithaler's ambition has driven her to augment her deadly capabilities by learning the ways of summoning magic. Thrace's inherent connection to the spirit world heightens her abilities to devastating effect. An unquenched lust for power eventually drove her into the fold of the Circle of Poxxus, where Thrace Wraithaler's emerged from the shadows as a transformed being created by the horrific melding of unnatural magic powers.
That is one of the best bios. It's an excellent bio.
Yeah.
When you were in Chateau Williams, did you get to see Trevor's blue light?
I saw his scepter, but I didn't specifically see the blue light.
Is that unfair, or?
No, I think it's a fair point to say the skin tone is different to how it looked in the original one, and not in a bad way. It's just different.
Sorry, Trevor. No, but it is quite blue there, but it's definitely more, if you have an Alithia, anyone, and you haven't got this wave, that's the colour. So, actually, you see it in this picture here. That is the skin tone.
Yeah.
Oh, those headstands would have been nice. Where do you get them, Trevor? So she has 2 head sculpts, basically the same face, and one is with the hair kind of, the back of the hair is kind of cut out so that, and it looks a bit kind of slicked back, and it's so that you can put the hood on. That's basically the thing there. Yeah, she's a really nice figure, beautiful. The soft goods really make it, because you got the soft goods for the kind of to make the skirt piece a bit longer, and also that kind of what is the front of the skirt piece called again? Tabard, isn't it?
The loincloth.
Yes.
The loincloth, yeah. Yeah, and I also love the magic effect and her weapon, which is really simple but really cool.
Yeah.
It can also be used with the magic effects. Mal, you're a fan of the females? You have been in for Cosmic, for example?
Yeah. She's I think a lot of people previously and still mention how pretty the head sculpt is. And yeah, she's a great figure. You give me a character, a mysterious character with a hood though, and the hood's going up because I like that sort of, it's hanging just over.
It does work.
You can't quite see. That's just a great bio, very cool looking figure. Yeah.
She is, yeah. As the 2.0, Rich, how was it for you?
Yeah, she's one of my favourite 2.0s, I think it's fair to say.
Okay.
I think the soft goods help enormously with it. It sort of fills her out a little bit. But the bio as well, and just the sort of skull magic effect. I think the combination of all that makes it pretty damn cool. I say I've not opened it yet. I was opening a handful before I joined this evening, sort of thing, because I've been poorly, so not been able to do it. And I thought, if there's one I'm not going to open and risk breaking anything, it's Thrace. So I'll do that another time when I've got a bit more heat available.
And I also like the leather on her outfit. The sculpted leather and the way they've painted that. It's perfect.
It's a great torso. I'm a little tempted to pick up another one of her, just so I've got another one of those torsos, possibly to do something with Cosmic.
Yep, I may have got two.
Of course.
Yeah, so Thrace is an excellent female figure, one of the top ones, I would say. And of the figures, we'll talk about also the accessory packs as well, but the last of the figures, Michael Xavier himself, Zende. So 1.0 with cloth, arms and upper legs, and that torso we've seen with, I think, Bardrick, with an amazing soft goods cape and an amazing weapon and magic effect. So give us the bio there, Mal.
Hailing from mysterious lands beyond the shores of mythos, Zende Amanthir was sent by his guild to assist Heraserp and Spire in the convocation of Basilia in their efforts to quell the rising power of Poxxus. Bringing with him the extensive array of archaic incantations, Zende has dedicated himself to the Magi of Basilia as a teacher of spellcasting and a soldier to their cause. As someone who has suffered great personal loss at the hands of Poxxus zealots, Zende is all too aware of the stakes of this deadly fight.
So, pretty solid bio, and I think a pretty solid figure. I think really, really nice figure. He's one you could buy multiples of and have multiple uses for. And again, those soft goods, upper arms and legs in a different colour, which is sweet. And as I've said multiple times with Lee J, they are the pieces that are not, you're never going to get in a 3D parts kit. They're definitely the pieces with the articulation that you will not get. So they're really important parts when it comes to customizing. So what's your opinion on Zende, Rich?
I love this guy, actually. I bought, when they first showed him, I bought 3 just because I wanted the sort of samurai type chest piece and that sort of thing. But actually, I really like him as
75 Lord Bashatis that you didn't need it anymore.
Maybe. It's no more than 14 Lord Bashatis. But no, this is the first guy I opened in the wave. The second one after Azahaza. And he's a great figure. I'm using the head sculpt with the tattoo effect again because that's great. But the head sculpt is so good, I'm going to try and find a way to use the non-tattooed head in a different Legions character because it's a fabulous sculpt. So I don't want to waste that head. I love the magic effects around the arms. That's brilliant. The staff he comes with is absolutely superb. It might be my favourite out of the whole lot, and there's some amazing staffs in there.
Yeah, nice,
and just the colour matches. As you said, the cloth goods sort of thing. It's like those yellows and blues. Some of those will be making their way over to a Novian lean at some point to spice up one of my cosmic guys as well.
Don't be giving away your secrets. That's a good idea.
So I absolutely love this guy. I'm really impressed with him. I mean, I might be slightly biased because he's 1.0 rather than 2.0. But no, I really like him.
Right, Mal?
Yeah, I think he's great. I said to you guys, didn't I, before, he's just something about him, because he feels like he's a magic user who could then just knock you out.
Yeah.
He
is
like something extra to him.
I'm not feeling the magic today. Right, fisticuffs.
Yeah. You can imagine he's the sort of wizard that once he's finished spellcasting for the day, goes down the pub with the dwarves.
Yes. And I mean, it's partially thanks to Trevor's photo, but the one of him with the cape sort of swung back and like that dramatic pose reminds me a little bit of, it's got a comic book vibe, and he gives
does
off
have a comic book vibe,
Strange and Sorcerer Supreme vibes. I love that. He's a very cool figure. One of the cool head sculpts that we get in this line. Along with like Devan and Magnus, and it's up there, isn't it, with those?
Yeah, for me, perfect 1.0 wizard, awesome. Yeah, as Mal says, kick ass, but also could be a magic user. Yeah, so absolutely excellent. Love the spellcasting hands, love the magic effects, they work really well on him. He has probably the best staff accessory. Apart from Tarnog, so it's tough. And then that alternate head sculpt with the glowing eyes and that kind of magic effect on the forehead is really nice too. So all in all,
and if any of the characters from outside Mythos itself are as badass as this guy, I'll be very happy when they start appearing in Mythic Legions.
Yes.
Very true. Right. Quick word for the effects packs. So we got a magic effects pack, evil, which is like purple and red, with the various different kind of magic effects that we've got with the different figures. We got a magic effects pack heroic, which is blue, purple, and green, with the various same magic effects that we got with the figures, and the weapons pack, which is a repaint of the Zende staff. We got a repaint of the staff we got with Thrace, repaint of the staff that we get with Samir, repaint of the staff we got with Arazak, and we got the book in a different colour, and then those various potions bottles and the different things that clip onto the belts from all the figures, and a belt. So awesome to get stuff like this, guys.
I love them.
It gives you the option just to flesh out so many other characters or customs that you got already. Like the gold staff that Samir came with, for instance, is going to one of my Egyptian themed characters, because it's got that sort of cobra type look to it and that sort of thing. And another one of my mages is going to get some of the blue effects from the pack and everything like that. So yeah, I love stuff like this. In the past, I don't think I did necessarily, but now it's just like, I can do all sorts of different bits and bobs with these.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Mal?
Yeah, absolutely love them. I think I've got in all 3 of the weapons pack and 2 each of the magic effects, and I've already gone through putting the magic effects on as many of the magic users with staffs that I can. And it just adds a little something. Balaam, great figure. Yeah. You stick that magic effect on his staff and it's wow, it looks even cooler, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Right, so we got to get down to our final ranking and what we think. So, Best heroic figure. Tarnog for me. No surprise to anyone.
Tharnog for me, which was a surprise for me, but he's brilliant.
Yeah, Tharnog. He's just cool. Yeah. That shaman look, cool.
Is that the shaman like we had in the 90s? Who are they?
They're not so cool.
Whoa. You might be having a chat next week, dude. Don't be bad-mouthing the shaman.
Best evil figure then?
Oh, yeah. Poxxus.
Poxxus for me.
Calazir for me.
Yeah, he was close for me. Right, rank the figures in order.
Are we going bottom to top?
Yeah, no, well, as you like. I can go bottom to top or top to bottom. What do you prefer? Bottom to top. Yeah. Okay. Rich, go for it. So.
Okay, so last Blogius, then Samir, Azahazar, Thrace, Arazak, Zende, Arakagor, Poxxus, and then drumroll, number 2, Tharnog, and Calazir is my favourite out of the wave.
Wow, a 2.0.
No, he's a brute. It's Calazir.
Oh, Calazir. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of Arazak. Yeah.
Arazak, yeah.
Oops, scratch that. Right, Mal.
Right. Haven't actually got it written down, but I can do it by looking at it. So last is Flogius. Second from last is Arakagor. Then it's probably Samir. Then Arazak. Then Brace. Then Azazar. Then Zende. Then Calazir. Then Tharnog. And first is Poxxus.
Wow.
Oh, did I miss Samir? No, I didn't, did I? No.
Tarnog, where's Tarnog?
He was second.
Second, okay.
Yeah.
Right, mine. And this is a clean sweep. Last is Flogius. I think we just have horse fatigue. That's clear.
Yeah, we do a bit.
They're good, but it's a horse, isn't it?
Yeah, and we needed more paint on the legs.
Yeah.
Then Samir. Then Thrace, then Zende. But this is like already with, Samir, I love them. So it's a tough one. But you have to rank them. Then Arazak, the open mouth head sculpt, it just brings it up so much. Azahazar, Arakagor, Calazir, Poxxus, and Tharnog. There you go. There's my top. So, yeah, tough one, but it's tough to rank them. But as I said, probably like them all as figures. A bit of horse fatigue. But after that, yeah.
I think we all had the same top 3, didn't we? Just in different orders.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a bit of a consensus. Figure that most surprised you in a good way. So, Rich, I think you have one to roll straight off there, huh?
Tharnog.
Yeah.
Just amazed at how much I like this guy.
Wow. Yeah. For me, it was probably Arakagor in that, I loved him and whatever, but I think with the ogre scales, I just kind of, I don't like them as much as the other scales, shall we say, just so far, even though they're nice, but he really jumped right up the rankings for me when I got him in hand, more than I was expecting. So that's why I'd put him in there. Mal?
I guess I have to say Poxxus, don't I? I thought he looked cool, but he was nowhere near my top 4 or 5 of them. Mm-hmm. He's just so cool in hand, though. Obviously, I liked the bow effects and the bow and all that, but the figure itself, I was like, he's kind of cool, but actually now he's in hand, he's really cool.
Gotcha.
I'm going to give a special mention, though, as well.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Azar, really surprised how cool he is as well. Again, looked badass, looked pretty cool, but in hand, I'm like, yeah, this is good.
Quality. Right, Rich, for best new part or parts for Mal.
I'm going parts. I'm grouping all the staffs together.
Okay.
I've been blown away by the staffs and the variety. They just bring so much character. I think it's my one grumble about Mythic Legions over the years. I think it's just been the weapons have been a bit boring at times. Mm-hmm. But these staffs just bring so much character to it that, yeah, I love them.
Gotcha, yeah. I'll go with Tarnog's staff, I think. The big one there. With the special mention for maybe the wrist wraps and stuff that are going over Tarnog brute scale. So, you know, that's got awesome potential for the future. Mal?
Quite torn here.
Well, there's an S after the parts, so...
Yeah, so I guess Poxxus' shoulder pads would be in there.
Yeah,
his
good
bows.
shout. I'm glad somebody mentioned them. Yeah.
Yeah, his bows are in there. Magic effects, I think, you know, all the magic effects are really cool. And then the book, I really like the magic book that Samir's got and comes in the accessory pack.
Yeah. And then the last thing we have is favorite thing about the wave in general. For me, it's just all the accessories and the magic effects and everything. How that all blends it in together.
Yeah.
Rich?
I think...
Oh, sorry, Mal. No, Mal, you're on.
Sorry, I was going to say, I think it was the first wave where they started showing lots of little accessories and little, almost, you know, what you might describe as sort of storytelling accessories for the characters. And yeah, I'm with you on that. It's all that side of it is just so good.
And Rich?
For me, it's the use of the soft goods.
Good shout.
This is the first one. Obviously, it's a wizard way, but yeah. It's every character they use really cleverly. Even someone like Kalazir, you know, which is just, there's not that much, but actually it's 3 different colours, 3 different types. They fit in well together. The cloaks are awesome. Even if my child did accuse me of playing with a doll earlier, because I was going, oh, look at the wizard, look at the cool cloak. And she's like, that's a doll. I was like, no. So yeah, I love the use of soft goods in this wave.
I agree.
Good show. Yeah, I think anyone that's impressed with the soft goods they've got on figures in hand before this wave, it's all because of this wave that they've even started with the soft goods. So it all comes back to this one. Right, and then I think to round us off tonight, we'll talk. We've got 4 people in their Discord who asked us a couple of questions then when I mentioned that we were going to do the Poxxus review. We have Matt Drake, and he says, were there any figures that surprised you in a positive or negative way compared to what you expected? So I think we covered that a bit, but anything more to add there, guys?
I think for me, negative-wise, just the impact that being a 2.0 took on Arizak for me. I loved his look, I still love his look, but he's just too slight.
Yeah. For me, it's more just my struggle a little bit with the Poxxus soft goods, and the wing, obviously, as you've seen this episode, was a little bit negative, but I'll hopefully get another Poxxus to compare. And then in the positive, I would just say everything else is awesome, you know, so other than, you know, what I mentioned before, but yeah, I don't have much more to add there. Mal?
My negative is that none of the spell effects will go on Hera Serpent Spire's staff.
There you go.
Because it's bent.
Get the hairdryer out.
Yeah, soften up the positives. That's so many, isn't there? You know, soft goods are as good as you could hope they could be.
Yeah. 2
very cool brute scale characters that look very different and yet are basically the same body. You know, I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it?
Right, and then we have Jeremy Govier, and he asks, what is your favourite accessory in the wave, which, in my opinion, has the best accessory yet? So, Rich, what do you got there?
If I had to pick just one thing out of the whole lot, so I've talked about how much I love the staffs, but I actually think it'd be Calazir's sword. Because it's just such a good design.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Yeah. Mal, what you got?
I've got to go with Poxxus' bow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we're talking then other accessories, not weapons, it's the magic effect that Brace has with the snake head on it. So.
Can I give an honourable mention? Can I do a Mal here as well, actually? The arrows that are insects being fired out, yes. That as well is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
That lived up to all the hype, all my expectations. It was just like, wow.
You were flagging that up before, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's Tharnog Staff, so I mentioned it already, but I think overall, this is the wave with the best accessories so far. Be it the little things that attach the belts themselves, the magic effects, the staff from Zende, everything absolutely incredible.
And I tell you what, doesn't it make you even more excited for the stuff coming with Necronominus and the Rising Suns waves and what we're getting with them? It'll be wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Then the Toy Forge, Anthony Halseal. Why was Zende not made as a dwarf? And my answer is because we already have Jordan Runeshaper in the faction, so we need a Zende, to go alongside.
That's a good answer.
I got two answers.
Oh, lovely.
Dwarves weren't very popular in terms of selling numbers that sold when Poxxus was around. Nowadays, he may well have been a dwarf, but in those days, they weren't going to put dwarves in if they could help it. And also, and this is my random theory, is that dwarves only live on the landmass of Mythos itself. And as Zende's from outside Mythos, he couldn't have been a dwarf.
That's a good story.
Somebody has used their brain here. I like it.
Yeah.
So there you go, Anthony. Mal, what have you got for Anthony?
I thought your reasoning was good, but now I think Rich's reasoning's even better. Is that dwarves just
completely blow us away?
There aren't many sea dwarves. They don't like boats. Their little arms mean they can't swim so well.
They just bob.
Yeah, that's it.
Dwarf's called Bob. Right, and then finally, Mr. Purple Gang, Wholesome Warlock. I'm interested in commentary on the overwhelming proportion of figures with purple in this wave. So, Arakagor has purple around his eyes. Arzak obviously has the purple soft goods. Azahazar has purple soft goods. Calazir has purple facial hair and hair. The evil magic effects have purple. The heroic magic effects have purple. Poxxus doesn't have purple, neither does Samir or Tharnog. Thrice has purple. The weapons pack, Zende's staff has purple. And I think that's all the purple in the wave. So, anyone else got a comment on that? I mean,
long live the purple.
It's not the Alithia wave,
I think
you were a couple of waves late.
I think the only problem is that it seems to be, apart from the magic effects and was it Arakagor's eyes? It's mostly used to represent evil, and we all know that the purple is all about good. And
it is all about good, yeah,
so
that's right.
That's the only problem with it.
There you go. So purple for good, but this wave mostly has purple for evil. So there you go. That's your answer there, Jordan. So let's see where we go from there.
And hey, we all managed to say that without falling off our chairs, so that's an improvement.
Yes, William of the Beige has let himself down maybe a little bit last Saturday, but We don't need
He
to.
enjoyed himself, clearly.
He did, yeah. Yeah. Well, he knew what he was getting into. He was already half cut by the time he even started. Right. So I think that's our lot for tonight. Just to mention that the Four Horsemen are, if you're lucky enough to be in America, Mal has one more thing after this, but if you're lucky enough to be in America, the Four Horsemen are in ToyCon, New Jersey this weekend, and also in Toylanta, so in Atlanta. So plenty of options there for you. I know Jeremy is down in Toylanta. Not sure which of the team is in the ToyCon, New Jersey, but I guess be well covered there. So if you're looking for a valiant night, that's where you're going to get it this weekend, along with the Poxxus wave. So Mal, tell us.
It's all right. It's a bit of more of a... Do we want to talk about Lee J and Blue Hagnall?
Oh no, we can
never
cover
ever want to talk about Blue Hagnall.
I think we're going to be over 2 hours now with the Jeremy interview, so I think we're good. We'll talk about them the next time. Myself and Guion had a little bit of a mention of them the last time.
Yes, fair enough.
As expected, Lee J is awesome. Blue Hagnall is meh. So I think that's probably enough, Rich, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't even have a Blue Hagnall. I'm not going to get one. And I thought, yeah, I agree with the me.
Both wrong, and you know it.
Rightio. Thanks for tuning in this week. Hope you enjoyed that. We enjoyed having the chat. So take it away. And Rich, get well soon.
Yeah, and stay safe out there, everybody, as well. Avoid the flu germs.